Hello, good morning children. Today in this video I am going to explain class 8 geography 5th chapter industries part 4. In the previous video I have explained about iron and steel industry and its location, everything I have explained. Now you are going to learn cotton textile industry. We already discussed in the lesson three major industries were there. One is iron and steel industry, second one is cotton textile industry, and the third one is information technology. You already learned iron and steel industry. Now cotton textile industry. Cotton textile industry. Let's see about this. Okay, next. Weaving cloth from yarn is an ancient art. Cotton, wool, silk, jute, flax have been used for making cloth. You know already different types of clothes we are using and they are made up of different things. They are cotton, silk, wool, jute, yarn and flax. The textile industry can be divided on the basis of raw materials used in them. So what type of raw materials we are using, whether they are wool or silk or jute, like that it depends. Fibers are the raw material of textile industry. So fibers are the raw material. Fibers can be natural or man-made. So here fibers are the raw materials. Mainly fibers we will use. Here fibers may be of natural or human made. Natural or man-made or human made. Okay, so these are the raw materials to cotton textile industry. Fibers are the raw materials. They may be natural or man-made. Okay, next. Natural fibers are obtained from wool, silk, cotton, linen and jute. So, these are the examples children. See, what are they? These natural fibers are obtained from wool, silk, cotton, jute. Okay, wool, silk, cotton, jute and linen. All these come under the natural fibers. Maybe in the physics classes also, we have learnt about these natural fibers. What are natural fibers and what are artificial fibers? Here, artificial means nothing else, man-made. So, these wool, silk, cotton, jute and linen, all these come under the category of natural fibers. Man-made fibers include nylon, polyester, acrylic and rayon. So these are artificial, that is man-made fibers. Okay, so wool, silk, cotton, jute, linen are natural fibers. At the same time, nylon, polyester, acrylic, rayon, all these come under the category of man-made fibers. The cotton textile industry is one of the oldest industries in the world. So, this cotton textile industry is the oldest industry. Why? Because to survive as a human being, we need clothes. We have to cover our clothes. That's why this is common thing. Food, shelter, clothes. These are the basic things. That's why this industry, cotton textile industry also the oldest industry in the world. Till the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, cotton cloth was made using hand spinning techniques and looms. So, till the 18th century, hand looms. That means with hand they used it to make clothes. In 18th century, power looms facilitated the development of cotton textile industry, first in Britain and later in other parts of the world. So, after the invention of power loom, after the invention of the power looms, they have survived. First of all, these power looms were used in Britain and later they spread into the world. Today, India, China, Japan, and the USA are important producers of cotton textiles. So, India, China, Japan, and USA. India, China, USA, and Japan. These are the major producers of these cotton textile industries. These four countries are having major cotton textile industries. India has a glorious tradition of producing excellent quality cotton textiles. So, already you have learned in the history chapter. From here only, the Britishers and Europe market, they are fond of our textiles, cotton textiles, our designs, our quality. Before the British rule, Indian hand-spun and hand-woven cloth already had a wide market. Britishers ago. Before they came also, we have widespread uses. The muslins of Dhaka, chintz of Masulipatam, calicos of Calicut, and gold-wrought cotton of Burhanpur, Surat, and Vadodara were known worldwide for their quality and design. Already you have learned in the 5th chapter, I think 4th chapter, 5th chapter, about different types of clothes and from which place what type of cloth is important. Everything you have learned in history chapters. But the production of hand-woven cotton textile was expensive and time-consuming. Of course, they have demand, but they will take much time, and at the same time, it is very time-consuming also. Time-consuming and expensive also. So many workers have to work day and night for their hard work, and that we have to pay a lot to those textiles. That's why those handmade textiles, they are very expensive and at the same time time consuming. Hence, traditional cotton textile industry could not face the competition from the new textile mills of the West, which produced cheap and good quality fabrics through mechanized industrial units. Okay, after the these machine made clothes came from Britain, these our Indian clothes, they faced a lot of difficulties. The first successful mechanized textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854. The warm, moist climate, a port for importing machinery, availability of raw material, and skilled labor resulted in rapid expansion of the industry in the region. So, as there was demand for the British mechanized clothes, in India also in 1854 in Mumbai, they have established first textile industry. Okay, so from there, after they established in that, our Indian textile also got market. The first successful, initially this industry flourished in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat because of favorable humid climate. But today, humidity can be created artificially, and raw cotton is a pure and not weight losing raw material. So, this industry has spread to other parts of the country of India. So, here what they are saying, initially this industry flourished in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat. First of all, what the climate they said? Humid climate, warm, moist climate, a port for importing machinery, all these things needed. But afterwards, as these textile industries developed in other parts also, in Gujarat and Maharashtra also, what they have created artificial atmosphere for these textile industries, and they have made raw cotton which is very pure and weight loss, very less weight clothes they have made material, and these techniques, with these techniques this industry has spread to remaining parts of India also. Coimbatore, Kanpur, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ludhiana, Puducherry and Panipat are some of the other important centers. So, in these centers also, Coimbatore, Kanpur, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ludhiana, Puducherry and Panipat, in these places also, this cotton textile industry centers located. Industries they have established. Here they have given about Ahmedabad cotton textile industry and one more which is in Japan's Osaka. That means how in India, in Ahmedabad, how our cotton textile industry, and in Japan, how the cotton textile industry they have given you in a detailed account, children. Let's see. Ahmedabad. It is located in Gujarat on the banks of the Sabarmati River. The first mill was established in 1859. So, in Mumbai, it's 1854. In this Ahmedabad, it was established in 1859. Ahmedabad, Gujarat, no? Ahmedabad. It's established in 1859. It soon became the second largest textile city of India after Mumbai. So after Mumbai, Ahmedabad became the second biggest textile industry. Ahmedabad was therefore often referred to as the Manchester of India. So Ahmedabad, we can say this, Manchester of India. For this, why they have called like this? Because of this extended industrial cotton textile industries. Favorable locational factors were responsible for the development of the textile industry in Ahmedabad. So, how it developed? Because of the favorable conditions. Favorable conditions also, they have helped in expansion of this textile industry in Ahmedabad. That means so much development it happened there. Ahmedabad is situated very close to cotton growing area. This ensures easy availability of raw material. The climate is ideal for spinning and weaving. So that in that situation, that climatic condition, cotton crop also suitable to those lands, and at the same time climate is also very suitable to spinning and weaving also. The flat terrain and easy availability of land is suitable for the establishment of the mills. The densely populated states of Gujarat and Maharashtra provide both skilled and semi-skilled labor. So, whatever the transportation, climatic conditions, suitable climatic conditions, land, power supply, labor supply, all the factors helped here. That's why this cotton textile industry developed. Well-developed road and railway network permits easy transportation of textiles to different parts of the country, thus providing easy access to the market. So, transport facility was also there. Mumbai port, nearby facilities, import of machinery and export of cotton textiles. So, Mumbai port also was there. That's why import and export also, machinery imports and afterwards export of these textiles, it is suitable there. But in the recent years, Ahmedabad textile mills have been having some problems. Several textile mills have closed down. This is primarily due to the emergence of new textile centers in the country as well as non-upgradation of machines and technology in the mills of Ahmedabad. So, of course, these many factors are expanded. Afterwards, what they have done, they have not updated to the conditions and they have not used the latest technology. That's why in other parts, with the latest technology, they have established this cotton textile industry. That's why this Ahmedabad lost its famous. That is about Ahmedabad textile industry. Now, Osaka, which was in Japan. How the textile industry was, now see. It is an important textile center of Japan, also known as the Manchester of Japan. Osaka was also called as the Manchester of Japan. The textile industry developed in Osaka due to several geographical factors. All those, whatever the climatic conditions and suitable factors helped the establishment of in Ahmedabad, here also they are the same. The extensive plain around Osaka ensured that land was easily available for the growth of cotton mills. Warm, humid climate is well suited to spinning and weaving. the river Yodo. Here the river is Yodo. Here Sabarmati. Okay. Provides sufficient water for the mills Yodo River. Labor is easily available. Location of port facilities, import of raw cotton and for exporting textiles. So, port is also there and with that export and imports also easy. The textile industry at Osaka depends completely upon imported raw materials. So, here in this Osaka, this textile industry located on the depended on the exports of the raw materials. Cotton is imported from Egypt, India, China and USA. What they have done here? They don't, of course they have produced some cotton, but maximum cotton they have exported from India, China and Egypt, USA. The finished product is mostly exported and has a good market due to good quality and low price. So after the finishing of the product, they have sold it in a low price and export quality is there. Though it is one of the important textile cities in the country, of late the cotton textile industry of Osaka has been replaced by other industries such as iron and steel, machinery, shipbuilding, automobiles, electrical equipment and cement. Of course it has survived, Osaka has survived as cotton textile industry, but remaining other industries also they have established more in this Osaka. What are the examples? Automobile and iron and steel, machinery, shipbuilding, like that remaining industries they have dominated this cotton textile industry. So this is about cotton textile industry. Now let's see information technology. The third and the last one is information technology. Information technology. Imagine how much could be accomplished if companies could operate on a 24-hour workday. See, here they are asking you if the companies and industries, if they work for 24 hours per a day, how much the production will be. Some software companies in the United States of America and in Bangalore, India have joined hands to achieve this. So, like this 24 workings, it will be possible in information technology only. So, USA and in Bangalore. Okay. So, what our India has done, it also joined with those companies. There are many ways in which this form of shift work across oceans. You know already how our software workers, they will do, engineers. They have particular timings. Day shift will be there and night shift work will be there. So, they will work for 24 hours. That means this technology, this industry, it will work day and night. For example, two software professionals, Danny in Silicon Valley, California and Smita in Bangalore are working on a joint project. While Smita in Bangalore sleeps, Danny in California is working. So, for a company, Danny and Smita. So, Danny will work from Silicon and Smita will work from Bangalore. Both of them will work for the same company. One will do day shift and one will do in the night shift. At the end of his work day, he sends a message to Smita updating his progress. So, after the daytime work till 5 or 8 he will work. At the end of the day he will send the message to Smita about the work progress till how far he has done, he has completed the work. the remaining work so that Smita will continue. When she arrives at work in Bangalore, a couple hours later, she notices that a message awaits her. She gets to work on the project straight away. By the end of her workday, she relays the results of her efforts back to California. So, after she completes her work at the early morning, she will send the work progress to Danny, and Danny will continue the work. By the way they communicate and work together, it is as if they were sitting in adjoining offices. So, of course, they are in different places, but both of them are working on the same project, and at the same time, from morning to night, that means full day, both of them are working on the same project. The information technology industry deals in the storage, processing and distribution of information. So, this information technology works on the storage, processing and distribution of information. Today, this industry has become global. This is due to a series of technological, political and socio-economic events. The main factors guiding the location of these industries are resource availability. So, have you ever gone to Bangalore? You can see there are so many lakhs of software engineers, software industries are there, and in those software industries, lakhs of people, software engineers have been working in those industries. Cost and infrastructure. So, resource availability should be there, and cost and infrastructure should be there. The major hubs of the IT industry are the Silicon Valley, California and Bangalore in India. So, the major information technology are Silicon Valley. Where is it located? In California. In California. And Bangalore in India. These two are IT hubs, most famous IT hubs in the world. Which are they? Silicon Valley in California, Bangalore in India. Bangalore is located on the Deccan Plateau, from where it gets the name Silicon Plateau. So, Bangalore is located on the Deccan Plateau. Its other name is Silicon Plateau. The city is known for its mild climate throughout the year. Silicon Valley is a part of Santa Clara Valley located next to the Rocky Mountains of North America. So, here they have given geographical condition of the Silicon Valley. The area has temperate climate with the temperatures rarely dropping below 0 degrees centigrade. The locational advantages of the Silicon Plateau, Bengaluru and Silicon Valley, California are discussed on the next page. You may notice the similarities between the two cities. That means how the climatic conditions will be in Silicon Valley, like that in Bengaluru. That means very low climate will be there and humidity will be low. There are other emerging information technology hubs in metropolitan cities of India such as Mumbai, New Delhi, Hyderabad and Chennai. So, of course, major hub is in Bangalore, but in remaining other parts also. What are they? New Delhi, Hyderabad and Chennai also. These IT hubs, Mumbai, IT hubs are located. Other cities such as Gurgaon, Pune, Thiruvananthapuram, Kochi and Chandigarh are also important centers of the IT industry. So, these are the main cities of IT hubs where these IT workers are working. That is also called as software industry. However, Bangalore has always had a unique advantage as a city with highest availability of middle and top management talent. So, Bangalore here, human resource, top talent and middle talent, human resources are available here. That's why as resources are available, there only these industries will locate. So, this is the region for the information technology location in Bangalore. So, this is about these children. I hope you understood the content. Thank you. Have a nice day.